All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome Sandy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to do this live. Sandy is really accomplished woman and a true inspiration for many people. She's the best-selling author of the book Roar, and she is a consultant and keynote speaker, and she's worked with huge organizations such as Houston Public Works and the San Diego Zoo, among many, many other projects, empowering women, empowering leaders from all walks of life and in many different sectors. So personally, she's also a friend. I know she's just a beautiful, inspiring energy and person, and I'm so grateful that you're here with us today. So, hi, Batsheva. She says, hi, girls. Hi.
Hi.
So that's Sandy. Sandy, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation with you. Let's see how we can move and inspire the world.
Definitely. Is there any chance maybe you could turn up your volume slightly?
Sure.
It's a little low. In the meantime, welcome everybody. My name is Debbie Sugarbaker, and I am the host of this show on Instagram Live called Cosmic Chats with @Debbie Sugarbee. That's my handle. Feel free to check out other chats. Basically, I interview individuals from all walks of life and from many different industries who are elevating consciousness and really bringing a unique perspective to the table. So that's why I'm really excited to have Sandy here today to talk to us about resilience. Mm-hmm. So, Sandy, first of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and how did you get into this work, and specifically on the topic, because I know that all your work revolves around resilience. How did you get into this topic specifically and, scale it to the scale that you've done it so far?
So I got into the work that I do because I'm passionate, fanatic about great leadership. I'm amazed at the insanity of the workplace and the experience that people have at work every day. And as you know, I'm very passionate and committed to spirituality. So the big vision and goal for me always has been, how do I bring consciousness into the workplace and create an environment where people can show up at work every day, be treated with kindness, respect, human dignity, have a sense of unity, produce great results, and then go home at the end of the day feeling really fulfilled.
Right.
And it sort of evolved over time, specifically the topic of resilience. As you know, I grew up in South Africa. Every summer, my parents would take us on safari. They'd pack us in the car, and we'd sort of wind our way through the wilderness on dusty, bumpy roads for hours and hours and hours, trying to spot animals. And the highlight of the safari was always watching the lion, in particular the lioness. What most people don't know is that the lioness does the majority of the hunting, and the male lions typically sleep most of the day. So for me, it was always fascinating watching the strength, the tenacity, the focus and intention that the lioness has to make the kill and bring it back to her pride, and also incredible resilience. She's able to sort of flip and flop between being the mama, the nurturer, being part of the sisterhood and the pride with other lionesses, and also making the kill and bringing the food and sustenance back for her pride. So for me, that's always been, such a beautiful embodiment and example of what it means to be resilient in this world. Right. To be gentle but fierce, to be hardworking but compassionate, to be bold but also be willing to rely on others and operate in community.
Wow, that's really, really a beautiful look at resilience. And so resilience, according to you, is kind of a mix of all of those attributes. Is there anything else that you would say about what is resilience? I mean, we also talk about, and we'll get into this a little bit more, but resilience in the, I had somebody text me right before this interview, and she said, can you ask her about developing resilience when it's been 7 months and I've been looking for a job and I haven't found the right one? And she's still holding out for the right one, even though opportunities have come, but there was always, something that maybe wasn't quite right. So that's kind of like another aspect of resilience. Or, people go through a lot of, and we'll talk about this, a lot of different challenges in life, in my own life, losing people, and all of that requires a certain amount of resilience as well. So to you, what is, you've shared a little bit, but maybe you can talk a little bit more about just the concept of resilience.
Yeah. For me, resilience means you stay true to yourself no matter the circumstances. So you develop the capacity, the muscle, the strength, emotionally, physically, spiritually, relationally, financially, in every way, so that whatever storm comes your way, and we all deal with storms in life, and sometimes they're predictable and very often they're not, that we have the strength and the capacity to stand firm and stay true to ourselves. So for somebody who's challenged by something, for example, the text that you received, one of the metaphors that I use for resilience, and it's a beautiful vision, is if you imagine, one of those heritage trees, those tall, big trees that kind of stands the test of time. Well, first of all, they have, sturdy, resilient trees have very, very deep roots. The roots go down deep into the ground so they can absorb the nutrients and the water that they need to survive. And in many cases, those big heritage trees, their roots spread out very wide and even crack through rock. The intentionality and the commitment to creating that strong foundation. And for us, it's the same. It's about being really tethered, connected, rooted, grounded to our values, our philosophy, our spirituality, our purpose, our connection, so that we can, no matter what comes our way, right, we may shake, but we don't break. And then when you have deep roots, just like a heritage tree, you can grow a strong trunk or a strong core. And the stronger the core from the muscles, the practices, the daily rituals and the routines that you have to keep yourself resilient, that's when you position yourself for optimal growth and optimal success and fulfillment. So just like a tall tree has deep roots, a strong trunk, that's how it positions itself for optimal sun absorption and survives the test of time. So I think no matter what we're going through, where we can reconnect to our roots and keep developing daily, literally, right? Building those muscles, routines, and daily practices to keep us resilient emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, so that we can withstand whatever it is that's coming at us.
Right. I totally think that's such a beautiful metaphor. And while you were speaking, I was thinking, listening to what you said and absorbing it. At one point you mentioned a really strong core, a really strong foundation, a connection to something spiritual. And for me, I know that in the challenges that I've been through, that connection to a sense that I am more than this body and I'm more than this experience and I have a soul, and my connection to that soul, my connection to, personally, I believe in like a divine intelligence, the fact that even, the blood running in the capillaries and the tiny little, the fact that my hair grows and the fact that the tree outside is growing, that, there's this divine intelligence, this life force energy that exists in the world. And I realized that I realized this thankfully at a young age, that if I was going to be able to make it in this life, I would need to grow my awareness and my connection to that life force. And basically that became, and hopefully, we can get distracted sometimes, but the most important thing that I can actually do or have in this lifetime is a connection to that life force energy, to that divine intelligence, because it's something so much bigger than me. And so in those moments when I came up across really, really difficult things, of course I felt the feelings and I went through the feelings, and in certain situations that brought up anger, or certain situations that brought up like feelings of devastation and grief, like with the loss of my brother, for example, I still allowed myself to feel the feelings, but I tried to always maintain that connection. I remember I used to like go to Memorial Park and put on sunglasses and just like walk the park and allow myself to cry, because I needed a space to just be and to allow those feelings to flow. But that was part of my inner connection to myself and to that divine intelligence that I've been talking about. And the other thing that popped out when you were